But yeah, let's start out with C21. So, one thing that I wish they had is kind of like with the give auction, you can click on this and have it tell you like what the bid means. Like obviously two clubs here is Michael's, but it's not explained. And of course, in modern times, a lot of people don't even play two clubs Michael's here anymore. So that would be helpful, but anyway, here we are. We get the King of Hearts lead. So we're in 6 no trump. Right at the start, I mean, it's gonna look I see, actually. I was gonna say that this kind of looks like a simple squeeze type problem, where if we can duck the first heart trick, let's say West continues the Queen of Hearts, we're gonna win the Ace of Hearts, cash the Ace King of Clubs to discard a spade from dummy, and then run the diamond suit. We come down to a 2-card end position. If West has the King of Spades, as well as the 5-card heart suit that they're promising for the 2-club overcall, we'll make the contract. West will be squeezed in the majors. Unfortunately, this plan has a little bit of a problem. So you might say, well, with 11 top tricks, right, we have 7 diamonds, 2 clubs, and 2 major suit aces. It's going to be right to duck the count and rectify the count, duck a trick, to set up that potential for a simple squeeze. The issue is West can kind of force us to prematurely cash the diamond suit. So if we duck a heart, and then West, rather than continuing hearts, switches to diamonds, we're in trouble. We have to run all of the diamonds, and then we're going to have to discard from our own hand. West will be able to pitch all of their clubs, kind of avoid a squeeze for a while, and then when we play the Ace King of Clubs, West will know what cards we've come down to in our hand, so they can either throw away the King of Spades if we ditch the Queen, or they can throw away all of their hearts if we've pitched all of our hearts. We wouldn't have the entries for the squeeze to work. So instead, we're going to have to play this hand as a strip squeeze against West. The 10 of Hearts is probably a relevant card, because if hearts are 5-2, and East happened to have, say, Jack Doubleton of Hearts in this case, West could discard all of their hearts, including the Queen, and East would be able to win when we eventually exited heart, and then play a spade through our Ace-Queen at the end of the hand. So we're going to need West to have all of the King, Queen, Jack of Hearts, or a 6-card suit. But basically what this means, we've seen a strip squeeze before. Previously, I think it was in the minor suits, against a player who had overcalled 2 diamonds, showing a long diamond suit. Strip squeezes are generally going to operate with 2 losers, and that's what we have here. We have 11 tricks, haven't lost any yet. So we win the Ace of Hearts, we cash the Ace King of Clubs, we're going to pitch, it doesn't really matter, but a major suit card from North's hand, and then we run the diamond suit. And then, we're going to need to do a little bit of counting. If West turns up with 2-2, or with 3 cards in the minors, then we should know that West is 5-5-1-2 or 5-5-2-1. But if West turns up with a singleton club and singleton diamond, for example, then we're going to need to be a little bit more clever about counting West's hand. But yeah, that's the basic idea. Once we come to the conclusion that ducking a heart isn't going to work out for us, we come to this realization that playing for the strip squeeze is the best chance. So we win the ace, cash the Ace King of Clubs. Okay, West pitches a diamond, so West started with 1 club and 2 diamonds. That's perfect. Now all we have to do is count West discards in the major suits to know whether or not we should play a spade to the ace at the end, hoping to drop the singleton king, or if we should exit in hearts. So West has 3 hearts remaining, and 4 spades, 3 hearts and 3 spades, 3 hearts and 2 spades, 2 hearts and 2 spades, and now West is down to just 1 heart. And the fact that East threw a heart and West has now dumped the Jack, I mean, makes it pretty clear that it's completely safe to exit the 10 of hearts. So, again, strip squeezes are not the simplest form of a squeeze, because like normally simple squeezes and sometimes even double squeezes will happen automatically if you just like start caching your winners in the right order. A lot of the time you don't even need to like think about the end position or count the opponent's hands. You just need to be on the lookout for very specific cards. Here, with West having showed 10 cards in the majors and turning up with 3 cards in the minors, we knew West's exact shape on the hand, but there are some times where it's very unclear what the opponent's shape is, and so you have to like either guess or make educated choices based on the auction or bidding or that sort of thing, or even a priori mathematics based on the possible distributions of the opponent's hands. But anyway, so level 4, I mean, again, maybe just like an introductory strip squeeze type hand, but we were able to work it out. So the pitfall to avoid, is that we don't want to duck that first round of hearts. It is going to lead to defeat whenever West has at least 1 diamond and can switch to the diamond suit. On to 22. We get to 3 no trump, we get the Jack of Spades lead. And, okay. So it's worth noting that on a spade lead, we have like all the time in the world. Right. Let me think about this for a second, because this seems a little complicated. So we have 3 spades, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, and 1 club that we can set up. We're going to need an extra trick. That extra trick could come from a 3-3 club split. It could come from the Jack of clubs on side. It could come from a 3-3 split in either red suit. I guess it's a little bit too difficult to try and set up a trick in a red suit. So I think our plan is going to be to optimize our attempts to take 2 club tricks. Because we really only have 1 dummy entry. I mean, the Queen of Clubs could be an entry to North's hand, which makes it a little bit more interesting. But how can we really plan on like trying to set up a diamond trick or a heart trick, right? Like if we play off the Ace King of Diamonds and they turn up to be 5-1, we're in a lot of trouble at that point. And I mean, even if they turn up to be 4-2, it's probably not good news for us. We won't succeed in setting up a trick. Let me think about this for a second. Like, suppose we win the King of Spades and we go Ace, King of Diamonds, Diamond. I mean, I really would like to add in some small extra chance of like one of these red suits splitting 3-3. And I mean, it's kind of a blind guess as to which one we should play on, hearts or diamonds. But, maybe there's some small rationale for picking one over the other. Still, I don't want to sacrifice our chances in the club suit. So let me just think about this for a second. If diamonds, let's say I do go ace, king, diamonds, diamond, and the suit happens to be 4-2. They win, they play back a spade. I play a club to the 10. I guess I'm kind of trading one 3-3 break for another, right? Because if I don't squander, you know, or tempo, I guess, by testing diamonds and instead go directly after clubs, I can still pick up 3-3 clubs. Okay. So yeah, I guess then we do actually just want to mostly focus on the club suit. Okay, now that we've determined we want to focus on the club suit, how do we go about this? For whatever reason, it's kind of jumping out to me that maybe I want to play the suit in like some sort of weird way, like lead the king of clubs out of hand. Does that make any sense? I'm just thinking, I can pick up jack fourth of clubs in East's hand. I mean, I can always pick up the jack of clubs in East's hand if I play low to the 10. So why am I under the impression that like leading the king of clubs makes any sense? I pick up jack doubleton of clubs with West. I don't know why. Like, something about this suit combination looks weird to me. Where if I had more entries, right, we could lead low to the queen. If that wins, we could then like duck a trick on the way back, cross over to North's hand, and then lead up towards the king 10 on the next round. And that would be a pretty good line of play. I mean, that would kind of be the optimal way to play the suit combination if we had plenty of entries. It's just the lack of entries to North's hand makes me wonder, like, if I lead the king of clubs, I kind of get an extra entry in that queen of clubs over there. And then I can actually test a red suit, right? Like, I lead the king of clubs. If they win the ace and play back a spade, I can then go, like, ace king of diamonds diamond or ace king of hearts heart. I don't know, those are my instincts. Let's think about the club suit just by itself for a second. So if I lead a low club to the, let's say I win the king of spades and lead a low club to the queen. I don't know. I'm gonna do the thing and see if this if this is the right answer. It feels like kind of a clever play, which is why I'm kind of drawn to it. And it does look like I'm picking up some extra holdings that I otherwise wouldn't be. Right? Like specifically that jack doubleton of clubs in West's hand. I mean, I have to decide what I'm doing in the club suit. If the king of clubs wins the trick and I next lead a low club and West just plays low, do I then go up with the queen or do I play low on this trick? I don't know. I don't know. Let's do it. Okay, East wins the ace. Now we can win the ace of spades. So do I have time to test a red suit? Final question. Like, let's say I duck a diamond right now. I mean, it might have been correct to like win the ace of spades and lead a low club to the king. But I'll think about that if this doesn't turn out to be the right solution. So let's say I duck a diamond right now. That would be bad. Let's say I go ace, king of diamonds and another diamond. If they split, great, I can claim. If they don't split, they return a spade. Well, I guess they cash another diamond, return a spade. I then go club to the queen, club, and I'm going down. Okay, so I think I should just go queen of clubs, club. Well, I mean, we did it. I'm not convinced that this was the right line of play. This felt like a really weird hand. I actually do want to look at their explanation, so let's take a look. Jack of spades lead. There are 7 top tricks. 8th trick can be developed in clubs. 9th trick could come from a 3-3 break in either hearts, diamonds, or clubs. Presence of the 10 of clubs gives South additional chances by playing on that suit. South wins the opening lead in closed hand, plays a club to the queen. East may be able to win the ace, return a spade, and then South has a problem in the second round of clubs. Sure, I mean, whatever. I just want to get to the point where they're talking about what to actually do. South might consider winning the spade ace at trick 1 and playing a club towards the closed hand. When East follows low, South faces the same problem. Playing the king loses when he starts with 4 clubs to the ace and jack. Sure. South can resolve this by winning the opening lead in hand and leading the king of clubs. Defense will win the ace. Ducking cannot help. So, okay, that's the thing that's like not entirely clear to me. Like if the king of clubs holds and I need next to lead a low club, I guess I'm just supposed to then play a low club to the queen. Is that true? No, I should play a low club and duck from both hands. No. I don't know. Maybe it's not worth spending time on this. They win the ace of clubs, play a spade, cash the queen of clubs, and then lead a club up towards the 10. Sure. I don't feel fulfilled with the explanation, but we came up with the right plan. Yeah, it's really just all about the entry situation, right? Like, you want to be playing the club suit differently if you had extra entries to North's hand. Maybe that's not even true. Maybe you actually just want to be always playing the club suit like this. I'm having a hard time coming up with a layout of the opponent's clubs where this line of play fails, and instead going like low to the queen, low to the king, cross back, low to the 10 is correct. Is there any layout? Maybe this is just like a weird line of play where, I mean, playing for 2 tricks exactly in the suit, both lines are equivalent. Obviously, if you're playing for 3 tricks in the suit, low to the queen, low to the 10 is the percentage chance. Playing for jack third onside, or ace jack third onside. Anyway, let's move on. King of diamonds lead. We are in 6 no trump. Ooh, yeah. This is a hand, huh? So tricks that we have 5 clubs, we have 3 spades, 8. We have a 9th trick in diamonds, a 10th trick in hearts. We are gonna need wow. Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna need the heart finesse. Let me just run through this again. So we have 5 clubs, we have 3 spades, and 2 red aces. It's only 10 tricks, which means I'm not sure that I'm understanding this hand. Let me think about this for a second. Because we don't have enough tricks to squeeze someone. Right? Like imagine if West had the king of hearts for whatever reason, which, I mean, there's no way we could determine that based on the auction. Like we could duck this trick, and then if we actually had 11 winners, like imagine North was 3, 2, 2, 6 in shape, we could technically squeeze West in the red suits. Is that even true? Yeah, it is true, right? We could unblock the ace of hearts as a Vienna coup, and then run all of our all of Dummy's winners, holding on to the 10 of hearts and a singleton diamond in North's hand. But that's not what's going on. So I'm having a hard time understanding the complications of this deal. Because we can just win this trick and then unblock the spades, unblock and run the clubs, cash the queen of spades, throwing all of our diamonds, and then lead the 10 of hearts for a heart finesse. If he's ducks, we're still in dummy to take another heart finesse. I mean, we're going to go down like 4 tricks or something if the heart finesse is offside. Maybe the thing they want you to be aware of is that, like, this isn't a hand where you can afford to duck the first trick. Like if we ducked this first trick and then West switched to, say, spades, it doesn't matter, and we did the same thing where we unblock the spades, unblock the clubs, and then run the clubs, our hand actually gets 1 suit squeezed in hearts. We're going to have 1 fewer diamond in hand to discard on the 3 black winners in dummy. And so we can pitch 2 diamonds, but when we cash the last trick, ace of clubs, or, well, 10 of clubs, or queen of spades, for example, we're going to be down to ace, queen, jack, deuce of hearts, ups at 10-3. If we pitch the 2, we won't be able to maintain the lead in dummy for a finesse. And if we pitch the jack of hearts, then when we lead the 10, East can cover, and we're going to be stuck with the losing 2 of hearts in our hand. I guess that's the entirety of this deal. I mean, it doesn't... it's baffling to me that this is a level 4 deal for them, but I don't really see an alternative to this line of play. We just have too many losers for a squeeze to operate. So I guess let's do it. If the king of hearts is offside, I'm gonna have no clue how to make this hand, by the way. Okay, king of hearts was not offside. Yeah, there are actually situations like this. It doesn't come up all that often, but there have been, a handful of these types of deals written up in bulletins where declarer, upon running a long suit, actually squeezes themselves. And so you do want to be on the lookout for it, right? A lot of players might look at this diamond holding and be like, instinctively, I should be ducking the first diamond trick because that's safest. It would prevent West from setting up a bunch of diamonds, and then I can like safely take the heart finesse, but in fact that's just not true. You do need to win the ace of diamonds on the first round. On to 24. We are in 6 no trump. Get the jack of diamonds lead. Oh boy. Not a super friendly hand. I'm not sure I understand this problem either. No bidding from the opponents. I mean, we've seen this suit combination before in the spade suit, where we want to be taking a first round spade finesse, so low to the jack. I'm having a hard time seeing what can go wrong. Like, to me, I would just win the diamond ace, lead a heart over, take a spade finesse, lead a heart over, take another spade finesse, and claim. I guess the pitfall to avoid is to ever cross to north sand and clubs, because if we do that before knocking out the heart ace, can something go wrong? I don't know. I really don't see it. I think I'm going to just take this line of play. I mean, maybe spades are 5-1, and that's going to cause us some problems. But let's start out like this. So we do take a spade finesse. I suppose we can think about what happens if spades are 5-1. So if East has 5 spades, well, let's lead a heart. Spades are 5-1. So okay, let me think for a second. Because we have 11 tricks, but the count is not rectified, unfortunately. Can I strip squeeze east? Or, you know, like strip an end play east? I mean, like, it's possible, right? We do have chances to make the contract from here. So one chance is that East started with 5-3-3-2 shape with the ace of hearts. If that's the case, we could unblock the diamonds, take the ace-king of clubs as East follows, and then exit the queen of hearts pitching our club. East is going to be end played into leading spades for us. What's the alternative plan? I guess if... What happens if, like, West started with ace third of hearts? You know what? I shouldn't play East for that shape. Okay, I said, like, technically if that's East's hand, right, 5 spades, ace third of hearts, 3 diamonds, and 2 clubs, we can make it on this line of play. But East could have beat us by just winning the ace of hearts previously. Because no squeeze would operate. East would then have no guards, specifically in the club suit. So we're just going to go down. If East had won the heart ace earlier. So the only chance is if East has long clubs. Oh, but this plan actually works if East had 5-3-2-3 shape, right? We cash the ace queen of diamonds, and East is effectively triple squeezed, and therefore cashing or winning the ace of hearts would not have helped them because that would have rectified the count for a simple squeeze in the black suits against them. Aha. Hopefully people understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm throwing around a lot of these terms, but I think we've discussed them throughout this series so far. So, okay, so we've established that cashing the ace queen of diamonds actually has some merit. East might get kind of triple squeezed. If they have long clubs as well as the heart ace and of course the 5-card spade suit. Is there anything else we can do? So I was thinking if I could like rectify the count, like cross to the club ace and lead the queen of hearts to pitch a club and have someone win and not be able to cash any more hearts, I think that's very, very unlikely. So I do believe I should next cash the top 2 diamonds and see what happens to East. They do follow. We're going to need East to show out on this trick. They pitch a heart. Which means we can't make it. Yeah, there's no layout of the East-West cards where we can make this. Huh. I mean, I must have done something wrong then. Okay, let's think again. We get the Jack of Diamonds lead, so I mean we're basically off to the right start, but I need to work out that end position a little better, I suppose. So we've kind of established like the correct line of play. We need to set up our heart tricks, take spade finesses, so we always want to start out this way, right? If spades are 4-2 or better with the queen on side, we have, you know, nothing to worry about. We can basically just claim. I mean, I did notice that the way the hand played out, oh, okay, we did everything right. I just missed a slight possibility at the end. All right, let's get back to the end position that we were looking at. Right, so we've taken 2 spade finesses, find out East has queen fifth. We've already established this plan where, like, if East has the ace of hearts, East is kind of getting squeezed when we play diamonds. But the ace of hearts card itself is kind of an illusion. So we've cashed all of these tricks, and we're down to a 6-card ending. Now, East must have 3 spades left. I mean, we know that they have 3 spades. So it's certainly true if they have 2 clubs and the ace of hearts, then we could go ace, king of clubs, king of hearts, and they get thrown in, which is what I tried at the end. But alternatively, East might have 3 clubs and 3 spades, so we can go ace, king of clubs and exit a club and come to the same tricks. And the way to determine which is, once again, if East had short clubs, they wouldn't have needed to duck the second round of hearts, because that would have allowed for this weird throw-in to happen. So we should always play East for at least 3 clubs, and therefore they must have 3 clubs and 3 spades in the end position. Hopefully that explanation is clear. But East did get squeezed. They got squeezed out of their heart card. I doubt they're going to explain this in the solution. Maybe we'll look at the solution, but I don't think that they're going to actually describe what's going on too well. And so I think I'll play through the hand a 3rd time and we'll get a little bit of a better explanation. So Jack of Diamonds lead. South should plan to take 5 spade tricks by finessing twice, 2 hearts, blah, 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 blah. We laid a heart. Spade finesse. Low to the 9, very bad technique. South succeeds unless East starts with 5 spades. In this case, if East has lengthened clubs, South may be able to squeeze East for his 12 tricks. Okay, so this is like a very, very important statement, and this is true, which means that I guess the point is that if East has 5 spades, right, so we can't take 5 spade tricks, we don't have any other way to score high card tricks, and that means we're going to need a squeeze to come to a 12th trick. Well, the only suits that we have potential for setting up tricks via squeeze are spades and clubs, and for a squeeze to work, we're going to need one opponent to have all of the guards in both suits. So that means that we would need East to have the club length to go with his spade length, because West isn't the one who has the spade guard. So for that reason, we are going to need East to have 3 clubs. And we can certainly utilize this information as we play through the rest of the hand, and that's why towards the end of play, when East discarded that heart later, we should know East is down to 3 spades and 3 clubs at the end of the hand. But the rationale for it is that if East doesn't have clubs, then the opponents would never duck the 2nd round of hearts. They could just win the ace of hearts. East would always retain his spades at the end. West would always retain his clubs. No squeeze operates, and so we're just going down. So you could call it like a little bit of a defensive mistake if East, say, ducked the 2nd round of hearts when he didn't have club length. The squeeze would still operate, kind of as I was playing for, but yeah, this is another one of these situations where, is this a mistake a defender can actually make? At the table, you would have to think through that on your own. I suppose I would argue probably not, but I think there are some players who just instinctively duck a couple of rounds of a suit, because it is true that squeezes tend to be much more easy to operate if the defense helps you rectify the count. Anyway, so I think for the rest of the hand, it's just, we can see what's going on. If West wins the ace, a simple squeeze will operate. Assume West returns a club, you can then cash the king of hearts, take a spade finesse. Why are we not taking a spade finesse? Oh no, they haven't even taken the right line of play, right? We don't want to, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah, we could have taken a spade finesse before running all of our side suits unnecessarily. So, West ducks the 2nd heart, refusing to rectify the count. South can then succeed with a strip squeeze, which is exactly what ended up happening. So we take a 2nd spade finesse, finding out that the spades split badly, and now we cash the ace king of diamonds, East throws a heart, and we can end play East into leading spades at the end with the 3rd club. Okay, don't think I need to play through that one again, but yeah, the main point is that for us to make 12 tricks when the spades don't break, which we find out early enough in the play, we need East to have the club length, and so then we can just assume that that's the case for the rest of the hand. 7 spades in the South. We get a spade lead. Pretty frequent against Grand Slams to lead a trump. So, Well, okay, let's see how the trumps split first. So we win the 9 of spades, and I guess pull a second round of trumps. If the clubs break, we have all 13 tricks, 6 spades, 5 clubs, and 2 red aces. If the clubs don't split, yeah, what happens if the clubs don't split? I don't immediately see how to set up some sort of potential squeeze. Let me think about this, because the issue that I'm seeing is, well, we can pull a second trump, I mean, so let's, I suppose, go ahead and do that. If we go ace, king, queen of clubs, let's say pitching a heart, they don't break, we ruff a club, we cross back to dummy with, doesn't really matter, let's say trump, just for simplicity's sake, and we try and cash the 5th club. I mean, like, it's kind of true that we could then pitch a red suit from our hand, cash the ace in the other red suit, and then run the spades, coming down to, you know, singleton queen of hearts, for example, opposite ace 2 doubleton, and a small heart in our hand, and singleton queen of hearts opposite ace 2 doubleton, and we would also have the queen of diamonds in hand. So if one of the opponents had 7 hearts and the king of diamonds, they would be squeezed, right? The 2 of hearts is effectively our threat card. I would like to find a way where we can pull off the squeeze when one player has both red kings. And so that's what I'm looking for. I don't see it yet, but it feels like there might be a way to do it. Let me think. I mean, an issue that I'm seeing is that we only have 11 tricks right now, so that's why I'm kind of fixated on setting up the clubs with a ruff. East discarded the jack of hearts, probably not particularly useful information. Okay, I mean, what happens if I play 3 more rounds of spades right now? So what does that end position look like? I can discard, say, a heart from North's hand. We're going to have 1 spade, 3 hearts, 2 clubs, and 2 diamonds, which is 8 cards left. So an opponent with, I mean, could hold on to 4 clubs and king doubleton in both red suits. I gotta admit, I'm not seeing the solution on this. Wow, this feels like the first one that I'm just completely lost. Oh, okay, okay, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. What if an opponent has all of the clubs and both red kings, right? I could unblock the ace of hearts and ace of diamonds and then run the entire spade suit. I pitch the 2 of hearts and 2 of diamonds from North's hand. I think they get triple squeezed because we have extra length in the club suit. Like if they ever pitch a club, I gain 2 tricks. And if they pitch one of their red kings, then I can cash my other red queen, and then they get squeezed in the other red suit and clubs. And we always make when clubs are 3-3 no matter what. Yeah, I think the trick to spotting this is just this idea that if clubs are 4-2, we can set up the 5th club via a ruff, but that's not going to help us. I'm pretty sure I've hit upon the correct line of play. I mean, it's not high percentage, but neither is, I don't know, whatever else the alternative was, which I haven't figured out, right? We kind of established that if we ruff the club suit good, we basically destroy our mechanism for a squeeze to work unless someone has a very unusual distribution, like East has 7 hearts, for example. So I think this is the plan. And that means we should unblock both of the red aces as kind of like a double Vienna coup type of play. So I'm gonna try it. We're still making if clubs are 3-3. He's pitching these jacks in the red suits. Gives me a little bit of hope. King of hearts discard. King of diamonds discard. Look at that. East was triple squeezed. So this is a variant of a simple squeeze to some extent. A key piece of the puzzle here is the 5-card club suit in North's hand, where we can potentially score 2 extra tricks in the suit. So that's why this was able to operate with more than one loser, where we didn't need to rectify the count, for example, to squeeze them. The point being that if East had ever discarded a club, we gained 2 tricks from the squeeze. And if East, and so that kind of removes the need where we don't have an entry to the south hand after we run the spade suit. Like normally if North had, say, ace, king, queen, 4th of clubs instead of ace, king, queen, 5th, and East was the one who had 4 clubs, East would have just been able to discard a club. We gain 1 trick from them being like triple squeezed, but then we don't have the entries back to the south hand for a further squeeze as we cash the 4th round of clubs. So we wouldn't have gained 2 tricks that way, but here we were able to because East couldn't afford to pitch a club. They had to pitch one of their red suit kings in the end position, and that allowed us to cash an extra trick and then squeeze them again for a second trick that we were going to take. So kind of a cool deal. It took me a little while to spot the idea for the triple squeeze, but you know, once you reject all other possibilities, you have to start thinking outside the box on some of these. All right, 6 hearts in the south. We get the jack of spades lead. And East preempted 2 spades in first seat. So, I mean, I guess I'm gonna take a heart finesse at trick 2. If the king of hearts is on side, you know, singleton, doubleton, or tripleton, we can just claim. If the king of hearts is on side with 4 hearts, then we're gonna need to do some more thinking. And if the king of hearts is offside, I just can't imagine that it's correct to like try and rabbi the singleton king of hearts. Like we do have a club loser. So yeah, here we go. I think what's gonna happen is this might turn into a very, very rare smother play. But let's see what what happens. So we do take the heart finesse, East does show out, and now we're going to need to come down to a very, very specific layout of the East-West cards to make our contract, because we still have a club loser. You might spend a little bit of time thinking about that, like, is there any way I can, I don't know, throw someone in to give me a rough sluff or something like that. But the problem is we have a trump loser, right? Or at least so it seems. So how do we get down to an end position where we can actually, how do I say it? Where we can actually smother West's King of Hearts. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but that's why it's called a smother play. Well, what we need to have happen for this to work is we're going to need East to be on lead in a 2-card end position. And the last 2 cards that we're going to have in our hand are both going to be trumps. The last 2 cards we're going to have in dummy are going to be the singleton ace of hearts and a club, or, you know, some non-spade card. And East is going to have to lead a spade for us. And so if all of these things happen, East leads a spade, we ruff with the 10 of hearts. West, if they overruff the 10 of hearts with the king, then we can just ruff with the ace, and we've effectively like taken an extra trump finesse. And of course, if they underruff, then we can just discard our other card from the dummy. So what we're going to do is we're going to, well, try and get down to that end position, right? So what did the end position kind of represent? Well, we needed to have one more trump in our hand than North, which means we're going to need to ruff 2 cards in the south hand. And we can do that by ruffing 2 spades in the south hand. We can afford to take another heart finesse, so we may as well do that now. We're also going to need to be able to cash all of our diamond cards. And as well as clubs, and we're somehow going to need to throw East in, which means East is going to need to have at least 3 clubs. I suppose we're going to want to be a little bit careful because we can do this if clubs are 4-1. Like, we can lead clubs up towards the ace-king a couple of times. Maybe that's not true, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because since we required to ruff 2 spades in the south hand, we will need West to not show out in clubs before we ruff 2 spades. So what does that mean? We're going to need East to have 6 spades. We know they have 0 hearts. We need them to have 3 clubs and 4 diamonds or something like that. Okay, well, let's get to it. So, cash the ace, king, queen of diamonds. Lead a club over so that we can ruff a spade. Lead another club over so that we can ruff another spade. And now we're going to exit the last club. And if East wins this trick, we've kind of reached the desired end position. And you can kind of see how this functions a little bit, right? We need to be double void in the 2 hands, so we need an opponent to be leading into effectively a triple void. And because both our hand and West are down to 2 trumps, West must ruff on this trick. But we have a little flexibility with what North does. When we ruff low here, if West underruffs, we can discard. If West had covered with the king, we would win the ace. But it's very important that North doesn't have a second trump. I mean, if they did, we probably could have just taken trump finesses earlier and pulled the remaining trumps. But this extra flexibility where we can afford not to, like, you know, have to over trump in the North hand or something at the end here is what allows this to work out. So Cool, very cool hand, in fact. Actually, I've liked both of the last two. These have illustrated somewhat rare, but I think very beautiful concepts in the game. The triple squeeze with, a extended threat, I believe is what it's called. The club suit having more than one extra trick that could be gained, as well as the smother play, which is a very, very rare situation to see at the table. On to 27. We get a spade lead against 6 hearts. Okay, we're in... This is gonna be the exact same hand. Is that what's going on here? Let me... So East opens 3 spades. Let's, spades are 7-1. We get to 6 hearts. There's no further bidding. I mean, once again, it looks like we should start off by taking the heart finesse. Because if the king of hearts is on side, then we make it. And if the king of hearts is offside, I don't think there's any realistic reason to play for a rabbi. Screen keeps going blurry. Oh no. I'm sorry. I hope it's not on my end. My computer has been a little bit laggy today. It looks like my stream quality is okay though. Let me take a quick look at a couple of settings and see if anything bad has happened recently. No, I think it is on your end. So apologies for that, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Hopefully, maybe refreshing will fix things. I'm not sure what to try to debug that issue. Well, I mean, it looks very reminiscent. Let's win the ace of spades and take a heart finesse, and then we'll have to see what to do if East shows out, which they do. So again, we want to reach a very, very similar end position. Which means we are going to want to ruff 2 diamonds in our hand. We will need to cash 4 rounds of clubs. And eventually exit to East, presumably in spades. So I think at this time we're going to need East to have 7-0-3-3 shape? No, 7-0-2-4 shape, right? Yeah, I believe we're going to need East to have 7-0-2-4 shape. Do I have a small extra chance if East is 7-0-3-3? Let me think about this. If I play 4 rounds of clubs now and and everyone follows, and then West roughs the next round, I over ruff. Ace of diamonds, diamond ruff. I think I do. Okay, I think I see the small extra chance, right? So we can make if East is 7-0-4-2 by going ace of diamonds, diamond ruff, club to the ace, diamond ruff, king, queen, jack of clubs, pitching a spade, exit a spade. We get to effectively the same end position that we were in before for the smother play. But we have an extra chance if East is 7-0-3-3 by ruffing 3 diamonds in our hand and ruffing a club and dummy as West has to rough the trick. Okay, So let's kind of play through the hand. I mean, I've given the layouts a little bit. Okay, East does follow to 3 diamonds, which means we're going to need them to have 3 clubs, but this will work. Oh. Or, apparently, did this not work? Are they playing a diamond? They are playing a diamond. Man, I have mistimed things, so I didn't make against every possible layout. Let me think. What did I do wrong? We take a heart finesse. We find out about the bad split. Obviously, against that layout, if East is 7-0-4-2, we need to rough. Four diamonds in our hand. Oh, I had it. I totally had. No, I didn't. Wait, I totally didn't. Now I'm a little confused. Diamond to the ace, diamond ruff. Club to the ace, diamond ruff. King, queen of clubs. Everyone follows. It's my internet connection? Or is it someone else? Please at someone so that I know who we're talking about. If it's on my end, I would like to know, but I don't think it's on my end. Okay. Diamond to the ace, diamond ruff, club to the ace, diamond ruff. Okay, you think it's yours. I mean, great for me, not great for you. Sorry that's happening, but hopefully it will get resolved soon. So yeah, how do I make it if East is 7-0-4-2? Because we need East to be leading until triple void at the end. And I think the only way to ditch a spade from North's hand is... Oh! Well, I kind of realized something. Which is that if clubs are 3-3, I can't pitch my spade from North's hand. So maybe I do need East to be 7-0-4-2. So that I can run 4 rounds of clubs. I'm still not sure I'm following what's going on, but definitely this is the start of the plan. Diamond to the ace, diamond ruff. What? I don't know, what am I missing? I need to get over to North's hand twice without using the ace of hearts. That doesn't seem possible. Club to the ace, diamond ruff, I can't get back over there. I mean, I could go king, queen, jack of clubs, ruffing, ruff a diamond, and then exit a spade, but then East is just going to be able to play another spade when they get in. I don't see how to do everything. You know, we have the visualization of like the end position we want to reach, very similar to the previous board, but I don't know how to get there. Yeah, see, the problem is if we rough the long club with the 6 of hearts, we haven't been able to come down to 1-1 in spades. And so when we play a spade in the end, East is just going to be able to play another spade, and because North has to follow, West will over-rough with the king of hearts. So it doesn't quite work. Like, it's true we can kind of do this, right? King of clubs, queen of clubs, jack of clubs, and we can ruff. And ruff a diamond. But now we're just... Wait, what? Wait, no, this is not good enough. This is nowhere close to good enough. Yeah, this is not good enough at all. Yeah, it's even worse. I wasn't even thinking about this, that West now just has way too many trumps. Anyway, that's what happens if we ruff the club with the 6 of hearts. Okay, let's regroup on this one, because I really don't see the solution. So we need to ruff 2 diamonds in our hand. Yeah? We need to be able to discard a spade from North's hand on the 4th club. So, I mean, East has to be the exact distribution that they have for us to have a chance. But how do we ruff all 3 diamonds? That's the question that I'm struggling with, because we see what happens if we can't ruff the 4th diamond. East is going to be able to play a diamond in the end position. Oh boy. Oh boy. What am I missing? It has to be something very obvious, because these are not supposed to be the challenging deals. Those are in level 5. What? I guess it's nice of them that they gave us 26 before this one, so that we can at least like show off the technique for the smother play. Actually, I can't ruff a 4th diamond, can I? If I ruff a 4th diamond, the smother play just doesn't work. Then I have too few trumps in my hand. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Maybe it's not a smother play at all. Is there any way I can get rid of my spade? I don't see it. Yeah, there's definitely no squeeze. I mean, East would have to have like 7 spades and 7 diamonds for a squeeze to work, and even then West could break it up by just switching to diamonds. Wow. I am at a complete loss on this one. So let me think. Diamond to the ace, diamond ruff. club, 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 diamond, ruff. Oh no. I mean, it's just a double dummy problem, right? East has 7 spades, 0 hearts, 4 diamonds, and 2 clubs. How do we make the contract with this layout? We don't? I don't know the answer. Is there... Okay, is East somehow getting, like, squeezed in spades and diamonds so that I can figure out which card to keep from North's hand? I don't think so. North has to discard before East does on the last club. We could try and visualize. Let's just actually run some tricks and see if we can think about the end position a little bit better. So East has pitched 2 spades. We go diamond to the ace, diamond, ruff, club to the ace, diamond, ruff. And now we play the king of clubs, queen of clubs. East has pitched 3 spades. And so we play the jack of clubs. Now, East is down to a diamond and 3 spades. I mean, yeah, this just like isn't particularly close at all. Like, we play the jack of clubs. If East... It just doesn't matter what we do. I mean, we can pitch a diamond and lead a spade, but the problem is that now East just returns a spade, and West overruffs. I don't get this one. I do believe we've established that if West has 3 clubs, we can't make it. So West needs to have 4 clubs. That gives East at least 4 diamonds. We can't ruff all of our diamonds. That would shorten our trumps too much. I don't know. This might be the first one that I just cannot solve. Which is really sad. I shouldn't be able to not solve some of these. Spade. Okay. Have to win the ace of spades at trick 1. Have to take the heart finesse, otherwise, you know, we just go down against some normal layouts of the cards. Now that the heart finesse is won, let's think about non-smother play possibilities. Is there any way to make this without trying for smother play? Yes. Actually, maybe that's the whole point, you know? Man, this is I'm going to be really sad in a second because we just had a smother play and I thought they were showing us a different one and like a different layout where there was some extra twist. But I actually think now that I've walked through these things multiple times, there's no layout of the cards where a smother play works. So I think to make it, we need to be able to score 12 tricks, you know, quickly. And that's going to involve scoring 4 clubs, 4 diamonds, well, the ace of diamonds and 3 diamond ruffs, as well as 3 hearts and the ace of spades, so that West is going to get their king of hearts at trick 13 at the same time East gets their spade trick. Yeah, because, I mean, we've established that the smother play doesn't work if East is 7-0-3-3. West will ruff the 4th round of clubs, and this just kind of messes our plan up. And if East is 7-0-4-2, we can't strip East's hand. Right. So smother play doesn't work, which means our objective is to just take the first 12 tricks, and that's going to involve roughing 4 rounds of diamonds in our hand while cashing 4 clubs. So we're going to need East to be 7-0-4-2 and utilize all of our entries, including the ace of hearts, to rough diamonds in our hand. Right? No, not quite. Okay, but we can make it from here. No, we can't make it from here. Oh my god, this is the worst. Yes, I can. I don't believe you. But let me think. I don't think I can make it from here. You just did it twice from this position. Yeah, but if we take the finesse again, we just go down. Oh, okay. I get it. I get it. I was like, now I exit a spade because this is like the smother play thing, but we can just play a heart to the ace and rough a diamond. Contract made. That was a really difficult one for me. I think shame on them for putting the smother play on 26 right before this hand. It had me thinking about smother plays. So that was a little sad, but yes, that's exactly how we do it. I think I talked through it and then just couldn't work out the final step. But I wonder if that really made it hard or if I just had a bit of a blind spot on this type of hand. All right, let's move on to 28. We're in 7 hearts. We get the king of diamonds opening lead. Man, like, I feel as if this is a very, very easy problem. And that makes me sad, because I think the answer to this one is to rough the first trick, pull hearts, and then test to see if clubs are 3-3. And if they're not, then we can take the spade finesse. I mean, we're going to run all of our trumps, and there's some potential for a black suit squeeze. But I think that's the line of play. And this seems like, you know, we got this one in about 5 seconds, and 27, it took us like 15 minutes, and I still didn't come up with the right answer. Okay. Let me think about alternatives, though. It would be a huge mistake to play the ace of diamonds at trick 1, because we don't know what we want to discard from our hand. It could be right to pitch the queen of spades, it could be right to pitch a club, but we would have to wager on that. So let's rough trick 1. And the only thing we need to consider, I guess, is like, could it possibly be better to just try and rough the 4th round of clubs in dummy? I don't think so. I believe that, you know, it's far too likely an opponent has 2 clubs and 2 hearts, or 2 clubs and 3 hearts, or whatever. So I think we should just take this line of play where we run the heart suit, pitch a bunch of spades from North's hand. And now we can test the clubs, see if they split. And they do not. But the fact that East has the last club makes things a little bit easier for us on this trick. We can just play a spade to the ace, dropping the singleton king. So lots of techniques that we combined into one. And I don't know, I mean, maybe these hands are just easier for me than some of the previous ones, like the intricate try and plan for, you know, how you handle entries on stuff like that and guard against different distributions. But kind of to talk through what exactly we did here, we're combining chances in a bunch of different suits. So 3-3 clubs, we can make the contract. If not, we use the ace of diamonds to pitch our club loser and take a spade finesse. But fortunately, at the very end of the hand, when East was the one who turned up with club length, the squeeze that came up was actually called a show-up squeeze. We played the ace of diamonds in that 3-card end position. East had to keep their club, so when they pitched a spade and we discarded our club, we let a spade up, we knew East only had one spade at that point. Their last card was a club, so the spade finesse could no longer be working. We gain a small extra chance in picking up the singleton king of spades with West, which is exactly what happened on the hand. So very important for us to run all of our hearts before testing the club suit. Otherwise, we don't have these possibilities of squeezes at the end of play. 29. We get to 7 spades. Get the queen of diamonds lead. Well, now that I've seen some of these previous boards, I mean, not from today, but from yesterday and the day before his set, I know that roughing a diamond is not correct. Not because, like, I think it's wrong to rough a diamond, but because we're planning on roughing a diamond anyway, but we may as well guard against 5-0 spades. So if we rough a diamond with the 2 of spades, we can no longer double hook East for Jack 10 fifth. So we win the ace of diamonds, and we'll start out by leading a spade to the ace. And if East turns up with a spade, we can just play a spade back, rough a diamond, you know, go ace of clubs, club rough or something, get back to hand and try and pull trumps. But if West shows out on this trick, weird. Wow. Okay, that's not what I thought was going to happen. Now we have other problems, right? So now we need to perform a trump kill against East. Which means we're going to need to rough a trick in our hand, eventually getting back to North's hand at trick 11 to lead from North. We're going to need East to follow to 4 rounds of hearts. Otherwise, we can't possibly cash enough heart tricks to be able to do all the things we need. Let me think. If I can cash 4 rounds of hearts, take the club finesse, cash the club ace pitching my heart, rough a club, and then rough a diamond, that's kind of the line of play I would like to take. So we need West to discard here. Okay. What did I do wrong? I kind of liked my line of play. Queen of diamonds to the ace. I mean, obviously it's very unlikely that West is singleton in the majors. It was, you know, with no bidding. So maybe that layout's just impossible, but what am I supposed to do about that? Actually, this auction's super weird, right? The opponents have 10 diamonds and never bid. They both had an opportunity to like preempt 3 diamonds or something, or bid at the 2 level. Well, I know they don't have love high cards, so maybe that's the reasoning for them not bidding. So, I mean, now that I know they want me to think about 4-1 trump splits, I don't know, I still kind of like my line of play. I'm sure there's better. Let's think it through. You know, maybe what they wanted. Okay, maybe there's actually a better plan. I think I probably did the right thing to start off, but then there might have been a better plan other than cashing 4 rounds of hearts. Yeah, I was gonna need the club finesse anyway. Okay, I'm just being silly. So spade to the ace, spade to the king. Now we want to take a trump finesse, right? I was thinking like, oh, I can ruff my diamond in the north hand and blah, 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 blah. Let's just take a club finesse. I don't know why I'm being silly. Okay, we figured it out second time around. Again, probably shouldn't have been that difficult, but yeah, if we're gonna need the club finesse anyway, there's no reason to try and cash 4 rounds of hearts playing East for 4-4 in the majors. Oh well. On to the last deal in C30. We get to 4 hearts. We get the Jack of Diamonds lead. There is no bidding from the opponents. This is kind of gross. We have a lot of losers, don't we? We have at least 1 heart loser. We have, I mean, probably a diamond loser, at least 1 club loser. We don't have a ton of entries to North's hand, so we can't even like take a roughing finesse and spades. Wow. This is all super gross. I mean, maybe our objective should be to play for 3-3 hearts and try and hold our club losers to 1. And unfortunately, we just don't have enough entries to North's hand to take the percentage play in the club suit for 1 loser, which would be to play East for 10 doubleton. Like, if we could lead a low club towards the 9 and then run the Jack on the next round, that would pick up the club suit. So I think we might need to go like Ace King of Hearts and a heart, pulling trumps, and then just run the Jack of Clubs, playing to pin East Singleton 10. That feels like the only chance. Hey Koopa. Yeah, doing some Bridge Master. Finishing up the level 4 sets. You know, I mean, I'm kind of noticing that it might be possible to take a roughing hook and spades if I have plenty of time, but they're already started knocking out our Ace King of Diamonds, right? Like, if we were to lose 2 club tricks, we could get over with the club ace and then use the 2 of clubs to get back over. Jack of Diamonds overtaking with the queen. This does kind of make me think that diamonds could be 4-2, which I believe gives us a little bit of an extra chance. Okay, I'm now thinking that maybe this plan of getting 2 club entries to North Sand has some merit. But anyway, we gotta start by pulling trumps, so let's do that. Good start. They return the 10 of diamonds, oh my. Diamonds are 5-1. Wow, okay. Let's think. So if we can prevent East from ever gaining the lead, we might be able to take a roughing hook and spades, use our 2 club entries to take a roughing hook, and then get back over there to cash a spade, pitching a diamond. I guess if West has a doubleton something in clubs? Is this a pin the 10 of clubs situation? That was my original thought, but I believe we have other alternatives. I just haven't fully been able to think through them, right? So like imagine East has the ace of spades. We know diamonds are 5-1. We can take a roughing finesse when we get over there with the club ace, and then use our 4th round of clubs to cross back. We can also make, if West has honored doubleton in clubs. I mean, that would basically give West a 7-card spade suit that they never bid with. They would be 7-3-1-2 in shape, right? So like, if West has queen doubleton or king doubleton clubs, we could play a club to the ace, run the king of spades while East covers, we rough, and then exit a low club. If East overtakes, we have only 1 club loser, and if West is left on lead, they have to lead a spade because that's all the cards they have left in their hand. That seems very unlikely. I mean, I think there's no chance West has 7 spades. They didn't bid. So that's not what's happening. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get it. We could run the jack. I mean, we could try running the jack of clubs. That's a very obscure layout of the hand. Maybe instead we play like a middle club spot, and when West follows, we go up with the ace. West could have king, queen, 3rd of clubs, and the same kind of end play works. We then lead the king of spades for a roughing hook, and exit a club. West can cash 2 clubs, but then has to play a spade. So West would be 6-3-1-3 without the spade ace. That feels a little bit more likely, but also with king, queen, 3rd of clubs. Yeah, that feels a little bit more likely. Nothing obvious is jumping out at me. Like, we've come up with two layouts where we could make it, and both seem pretty obscure. And then obviously, like, there's the pin, the 10 of clubs. So what would West's hand be like if we were supposed to run the jack of clubs? They would be 5, 3, 1, 4 with king, queen, fourth of clubs, and a 5-card spade suit without the club ace. Or actually, the club ace is irrelevant, or spade ace is irrelevant in that scenario. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I'm going to lead a club to the ace. We'll see. This feels like the play. We can't make it, right? We can't make it against this play. Well, so that wasn't correct. I don't know. Well, we'll quickly get back to that same position. So we want to win trick one. We need to pull trumps. We're going to need these to split. Don't lead the jack on the second round of clubs. But I mean, like, why should I lead a low club? Like, what's the difference? I mean, things still just aren't jumping out to me. I don't really know why I should choose one line of play over another. I mean, is there a reason for not leading like the 8 of clubs on the second round, or is it just you think that's the solution? It's just a guess, because I don't really understand why we would choose to lead low as opposed to the jack. Okay, you made the contract, but I mean, that's great. I don't see why. Like, why would that be the answer as opposed to playing the jack on the second round? Like, that's just a guess. Isn't it better than a guess, though, for me to play the jack? Like, if East has Queen 10 doubleton, I can pick it up. If West has all of the clubs, I can pick it up. It's nothing about shifting entries. This isn't like some sort of fancy entry shifting trump squeeze. You would normally do that with a bunch of trumps in both hands. I think the point that I was going for is that if West has 4 clubs, my play doesn't matter. And if East has a doubleton club, then I want to be playing the jack so that I make sure West wins as many tricks in the suit as possible, because West effectively can't cash diamonds. So I was playing the jack for the purpose of like trying to keep East off lead. So, you know, what I'm thinking is, like, when I played a club to the ace, okay, we can get to this position, right? We play a club to the ace, we lead the king of spades. It's nice that East has the ace of spades. If West started with 4 clubs, you would think, oh, we're in serious trouble, right? Because West is going to be able to cash 2 more clubs and then exit a club. But as long as we unblock the jack and 8, we're going to have a club entry to dummy. They can't cash a diamond, and the queen of spades will be good. So we do need to lead one of these 2 club spots on this trick. And so if West has 4 clubs, like, we're effectively cold. We lead the 8 of clubs or the jack of clubs. It doesn't really matter. It's just random. West takes 2 clubs, plays the 3rd round, and then we have access to the spade queen to pitch our diamond loser. If clubs are 3-2, it's just like a complete guess as to what we should do on the next trick. Like, if West started with king doubleton of clubs or something, it doesn't matter if we play the jack, because West will win the king, and then West has no more clubs, they have no more diamonds, they have no more hearts, so they have to play a spade. So we get access to dummy before East gets in with the 10 of clubs to pitch a diamond. And if West has 10 doubleton of clubs, you know, like East was being clever or something, dumping the queen from king, queen, third, which I guess, okay, they probably wouldn't do, right? They would just maintain their king, queen, third clubs, like we can pick that off. But if East has 10 doubleton, then we can pick that off by leading the jack. And it's important to lead the jack in this scenario. And there are 2 different honor 10 doubletons that East can have. East can have king 10 doubleton or queen 10 doubleton. So I don't really understand why they want us to lead the 8 and play East for king queen doubleton, which is only half as likely as one of the honor 10 doubletons. Ooh, okay, here's a point. If East had honor 10 doubleton, then they would not have dumped an honor, right? They would have played the 10, and then when we lead a club, they get in, and then they cash a diamond, and then we're just down. That's a much more valid point. Okay, so we do need East to have a king queen doubleton. This is like a small extra chance. Good enough. Good enough. We figured it out eventually. And of course, this time when we lead the 8 of clubs, West has 4 of them. So now, all right, in this layout, West has 5 spades. If West had 3 clubs, they would have had a 6-card spade suit and didn't bid in the auction when we opened a heart. Maybe in the back of my mind, something about West not having 6 spades was coming up from thinking through the auction. Oh well. I think we worked it out though. So that's good news. Took a while.